Hey guys, this is Crap Hunter, and welcome back to World of Tanks. Woo! And welcome to an impromptu episode. Originally I had planned to do a review of a tier 6 heavy tank, but at the moment the game is just really not going in my favour for that. So instead I thought, considering the circumstances that happened afterwards, I thought it would be prevalent to show more of a replay session of just, I would say, pure vengeance. In the sense of just how terrible the matchmaking has been lately. And I don't mean matchmaking in the sense of bad, where we are in tanks versus, we're not low tiers or anything. It's more in the sense of the player skill that we've been having to encounter over the course of the last few weeks. And by we, I mean obviously also the Priests of Wololo. There are days where, people can say to you, oh yeah, there's always going to be bad players in a video game. And that is fully understandable. But considering we've had consistently... So we have had sessions where literally every game has either been a horrible defeat or a so terribly crap victory that or you might as well want to draw instead, sort of thing. It's just been very stressful. And considering and the reason why I'm talking about this is because in those sessions we have had little golden gems, of which a game which we have straight after a terrible defeat, we kind of turn the game on its head and say, right, we've had enough of this stupid crap, let's throw it back at their faces and make them feel the horrible, grueling defeat that they wanted, that they should get as much as we've been having. So without further ado, let's get on to the first replay of this session. And we're back for the first battle, and we are on Erlenberg. I'm in my tier 8 tank destroyer. ISU 152, and this game was after 6 consecutive defeats, of which I was either screwed over by my team being so terrible, or unfortunate, luck of being shot at first. And so I had had enough. I was in a bit of a bloodlust, and the game already started off really badly by our team having a failed platoon of a guy in his Jackson and having a Panzer 1C. I am not entirely sure why. There are their scouts, never mind. But anyway, so basically, the Jackson and the Panzer 1C did a failed platoon, which meant that a potentially useful tank had been wasted, and I had, at that point, was not in a very good move, because it was just like, we could potentially lose the game because of that. And don't get me wrong, it has happened. Ah, that glitch has stopped now. I see, right. Slight glitch, because I've got the location marker on it, does a double. Normally because I've got my XVM as well as the World of Tanks. So anyhow, first movement of the game, I get into a position, bit of a glitch, trying to get into a shooting area. T69 overextends a bit, not being backed up by the heavies, but still. IS-6 incoming, fire a shot, low roll, ridiculously low roll, I get spotted, he misses his first shot. So I'm taking caution, being a little careful, thinking I'm alright. Forgot about the IS-3. I try and look. I spend a bit too much time aiming, so at this point I had just lost my temper. I'm like, for God's sake, can I do nothing right? Ah! It was just looking to be another one of those games where frustration and, annoyance was starting to take over, and it was becoming harder and harder to enjoy this game. So the T-34 type T-69 starts coming in when I spot an AMX-12T. Now he's going to be coming in to try and outflank and potentially kill/cap our base. So I'm marking it on the map, guys. There's a light tank. No one's paying attention. Right. Okay. AMX-12T. Screw you. So a first shot on the move. Now, as much as it's looking positive on this side, we have now surrounded the IS-3 as well as killed off his mates. The enemy on the other side has also completely surrounded our tier 8s as well. So at this point I'm trying to move into position where I potentially could cover them from the top when, lo and behold, another little scout comes along. This time it's the VK3601H. I fire, bang! There is another tank destroyed. 10 more hit points this time. So, vengeance is mine at last. So now that we've taken care of the IS-3, we now are in a bit of a clutchy situation. The T-26E4 finally had moved out of cap, is now being screwed over. I try a cheeky shot into the side of the T-44, hoping that it will go through the building, but unfortunately it doesn't. And nothing of there. Not really going to be able to do anything. Still kind of trying to see if I can poke a hole. Trying to say, guys, you know, there is tanks over to that point, watch out. At this point, I thought I could have shots at the T-40 Thor. I didn't realise at the time that that was a rock. I thought that was just the little fog in the background. So I couldn't quite see him. By the time he was there, he was getting destroyed, and unfortunately the T-26E4 did die to him, and the T-2069 was reloading. So the game could still, you know, at this point was up to anyone. It was, you know, pure luck. When I told the Type 59 to go cap, the ISU-152 made a mistake of trying to go YOLO for it. The KV-4, currently also defending the Type 59, tries to put as many shots into him as possible, but unfortunately was spotted by the ISU and sadly gets peeled apart piece by piece by the two STAs up on the hillside. So bad luck to the KV-4, I'm afraid. But it's what happens, unfortunately. The spotting mechanics are rather stupid. ISU-152, mostly unaimed. Ah, not this time, I'm afraid. Not this time. ISU, however, has been screwed over just about enough for the Type 59, who was a very good player, had a good head on his shoulders, was able to take out the ISU-152. And then, all of a sudden, Emil potentially could kill our KV-4. Just enough damage for me to work. Mostly unaimed. Bang! There is another one shot. So now it is 5 versus 3. Enemy Bulldog is making his way. T-34 is also en route as well. Fully hit pointed as well. STA gets completely killed in the process of trying to save the game. And now I've been spotted. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. I'm getting also paranoid of the fact I don't quite know the damage of the STA, so I could potentially get killed. I might not. So I sort of hold back a bit, let my heavy tanks move up, allowing us to be able to push on through. There is the M41 Bulldog, aiming, and just not quite enough. Then the STA makes a dash for the base. Type 59 spots him, or it was the KV-4, I'm not too sure which. I make a move. Type 59 dodging a shot, I believe. I move into position, taking my time. Can I just get... No, he just gets across. I get spotted somehow, because, you know, the rear of a tank happens to have a long-range scope on his arse. So I take my time. Where is he? Where is he? He's probably gone down the hill. I expected him to be running up here for some reason. I don't know why. I'm telling my heavies to try and get down to get into it. Oh shit, there's the STA. He has taken another hit, but he could potentially decap, therefore by losing us the game. Bang!
Enemy harbor is destroyed.
Well, he wouldn't have lost us the game, but certainly would have screwed over that Type 59's game. And there you go. 3 rather good shots with a mostly unfully aimed shot there. Well, not fully aimed shot. Guided by Stalin, gave me the revenge I desperately wanted for that session. And, well, let's have a look at the stats of that game to see otherwise. So, here are the results of that game. Not the most amazing nor impressive, but considering it was the first victory after 6 consecutive defeats, I am very much happy to report that it's certainly worth it. High caliber, getting the most damage, and we got fire for effect and fighter. These aren't really important, but it is a little tokeny things. Buggered over 2 modules in the vehicles I destroyed. That one I think was a fuel tank. That one was a track damage. 4 kills in total. Let's go to the team score. Scoring the most damage in the game. Well, obviously high caliber, but still scoring 3.4k damage, which was not too bad. Did 175 spotting, because that was the most important part. As for experience, didn't get the most experience. That goes to our Type 59 player. Kudos to him. Did less damage, or just under 3k damage, but also killed 3 vehicles as well as, you know, get into the cap to make our opponents make those mistakes. Good game to our opponents, however. It's, you know, it was kind of, at one point, it did look like they were going to completely rip us a new one, but then luckily the fates lended their hand and Stalin rose from his grave and personally guided my shells towards their targets. Anyhow, I will see you in the next game. And we're back, and we are on the second game of the session, and already it starts off with a relatively racist term from our T26E4 player. You can tell because he's the 48%er third on the left. The reason why I say this is because he's a bit of a wanker. Anyhow, so the game starts off. I'm in my Borsig, platooned with Ferdinand in Nimbus in the Ferdinand, and the game starts off also with the T26 player also shooting his own teammate. I, at the time, was kind of focused more on driving as well as getting into a decent position. This was also, once again, after a catastrophic defeat in which myself and Nimbus had been platooned, and it had been rather terrible. So at this point we were just like, you know what, sod it, let's just try and get some damage in and try not to die in the process. So at the early stages of the game, a lot of our tanks kind of run up towards this top point. Nimbus is behind me, trying to get into a decent position. We're kind of expecting one of the enemy tanks to try and push up. This is also after the personal missions has been released, so Nimbus is trying to get a heavy tank kill. I'm trying to get a kill, whereupon I have, you know, I basically get to kill someone without being detected. And the game starts off. We kill their E25 and they take our Bulldog. Borsig gets a WZ121. And there is a beautiful shot of a Chiri, and just as I do it... Oh, hello. Massive glitch there. IS-3 decides to reverse at that just ever so beautiful moment, meaning that I now have to pay him some stupid compensation because he didn't look when he was reversing. So, GG. Anyhow, is at this point that things start to look a bit bad. Basically, I'm telling Nimbus in the chat, I'm telling Nimbus on TES that there is a 110 approaching our base, and not to be cynical, but I didn't really think A, that the 110 was alone, and B, the Borsig and the Tiger P could deal with him, as he was in a good position and they weren't. So at this point, we're kind of debating on whether it's worth staying here in Arty zone, or whether or not it's worth trying to get up. Nimbus moves up into position to try and get around the flanks so that hopefully he can do some damage as well as get his heavy tank kill. I, at this point, am starting to make my decision to pull back. It's like, right, okay, no, the 110 is going to start doing serious amounts of damage. The Tiger P is nearly dead anyhow, and it's not looking too good. I'm sort of trying, still not quite decided into positions. I'm trying to move up to support Nimbus. When an ELC AMX comes onto the open, I realise I'm quite open myself. I'm taking my time. If I get this shot, I can potentially get that challenge I wanted. And he disappears. Perfect. And just as in the open, I move up, he looks at the shot, and it donks. Oops, bit of a glitch there. So, yeah, no kill for me without being spotted. And unfortunately, this is when multiple tanks decide to overwhelm, doing crap tons of damage to the tanks. And now I'm like, Nimbus, can you get out of there? I can provide some cover fire. No, I'm sorry, mate. Now I cannot do anything. We got to knock them out and get to the save the cap. So unfortunately, the type, yes, the ELC actually does the killing blow, knocking out the Tiger. Therefore, by rendering the cap completely open, it's at this point that Nimbus says, right, fine. Would have been nice to get a heavy tank kill, but unfortunately, I'll have to take a Chiri. ELC moves into position. I get a clutch shot, luckily killing the ELC. I take cover behind the vehicle. I try and dodge in. Type 62. Very bold, gets around, but unfortunately my reload isn't just that good. I try and move into position. 110 moves into point. He makes a mistake. I kill him, finishing him off. Type 62 tries to clutch shot me as he goes into the town. And now the game is pretty much a 50-50. Our team is slowly but surely knocking out those guys down there. Unfortunately, a Borsig does catch my teammate out. Unfortunately, he has the 750 gun. So at this point, the game looks like a disastrous defeat. Because, well, no one's watching the base, and Borsig potentially could shoot all our allies. Although our heavies could be here, we need to stop them from taking the cap. So I desperately make my way into the town to avoid being shot by artillery, as the artillery in this game was being very active on this one. And my heavy tanks now have finally cleared the A line, or the 1-2 line, but is it too late? So I'm being very much careful along this point, trying not to destroy the environment. Type 62 is somewhere, but not sure where. There he is. Won't be long before he proxy spots me. He sees me. Bang! Quick twist of the gun, and I back up, trying to get into position. Moment of panic there, because I thought artillery was going to have me. So I'm taking cover. Type T-37 moves in. I fire, I donk. At this point, I thought I was dead, because I thought the artillery was going to have a go. So I'm sort of moking up, taking my time, and another clutch shot on the move. And now all that's left of the enemy team is a Type 59 and a Borsig Waffenträger. And he can one-shot me, potentially, because he has a 750mm gun. And a ring around the roses later. Single bit of cover trying to save me. He's like, oh shit! I donk, I think I'm dead. He fires. I have just about enough reload to beat his. Close tension, it's getting really clancy. He could one-shot me, no problem. Boom!
Vehicle destroyed.
Last minute of ultimate glory. What a shot! What a shot! Oh. And the wanker and the T-26 also tells the KV-85 who made a small mistake and hit him he needs to learn to drive, and that is why he shot him, if you are wondering what he goes. So my response to that is... yeah, because that... to be honest with you, I know it sounds a bit of a harsh thing to bring up a specific player's name, but when you've not only been racist to other people, potentially, and then you shoot someone for no particular reason, I will call you a wanker. So there, the game was over. We captured the base, and the Type 59 got to live for another day, probably only to get killed by something else in the distance. Anyhow, we will take you now to the last and probably the most intense game. So, a quick look at the results of that game. Not really a big-ish game, but considering how it turned out, I think it's well worth it. Only 26,000 credits have been earned, 1.1 thousand experience, undoubled as well. Got a number of awards only on this side, Mastery 3rd Class. My favourite being Demolition Expert, got the Fighter, Duelist, and Fire for Effect. 5 kills, almost a Top Gun, but not quite. Team score, up to the point where I shot the Borsig, I actually was only having about 452 damage. So, yeah, that was pretty good. It elevated me just enough so I could get into 2nd place, whereupon then the guy who got the most damage as well. So, kudos to... oh, the Borsig actually got the most damage. Oh, well. So anyway, kudos to our opposing team. I am sorry, Mr. Borsig, who I did one shot. It is majorly unlucky. Because normally either you blow up or, you either blow up or you don't blow up. And if he hadn't have blown up, he probably would have killed me. So kudos to you, Mr. Borsig. I am sorry. Anyhow, I will see you in the next and last game. And we are back for the 3rd and final replay of this installment. I am in my Löwe tank in a Tier 8 game joined by Nimbus. And if you can see him somewhere, Biddenwar in his Ruhmtal Borsig Waffenträger.
Move out.
And in this, we are in Arctic region. And the match, well, this was, in this session, I had a particularly not so great session. We had a couple of victories here and there, but nothing really noteworthy, nothing really to say anything decent. And the game kind of already starts coming up to a bit of a oh crap, because most of the tanks on our team decided to delegate themselves off to the north, whereupon they could potentially be useless to cover this section, which is the clutch spots for heavy tanks. 5100 as well as Type 58 and the Panther as well. So the only people defending this southern flank was the T-25-2, 112 who decides to YOLO it down, and an AT-15A who decides to follow him. I am spotted by the M41 Bulldog. I spot him. First shot of the game. Nice low roll, but you know, good shot nonetheless. Traverse a bit, which by that point the AT-15 and the 112 is spotted. I see him. He sees me. I fire. He does a very nice clutch shot into my tracks, rather annoying me at the time because I'm like, how the hell did you do that? But oh well.
Track fixed. Let's roll.
And I think he is enemy tank. I think the enemy have decided to tell us also what the artillery was doing as well. Our Bert, being a legend that he was. Bidden is currently taking care of enemy tanks on the top half there, as well as Nimbus in his Ferdinand. I get a cheeky shot, which actually turns out to be a crappy shot, which goes straight into the ground below the KV-3, and the heavy tanks decide to bum rush towards the 112. So at this point, the game looks pretty disastrous, as our tanks at the north are taking their time. I spot a T-29. Not really worth it now. He's there. Trying to think about it. Maybe if I can get in a quick shot. There he is. Pop a shot. Crap. No luck. Bert throws another shot. Our 112 has just died. I'm being aware of where I'm going. I'm telling Nimbus and Bidden, crap, we need to get over here. We need, you know, I need some backup. They're going to come up the hot hole any second. AT-15A is dead. And now the game looks pretty much decided. We're going to get overwhelmed, and our opponents will kill us in the process. I get a very lucky, nice high roll, and also ducking down as well, rather nice. IS-6 is spotted. I get shot, not really angling well. He gets an underglacial shot. I'm trying to hold my position, so I say sod this. I'm reversing in, taking my time, trying to angle, make the same mistake a bit. Though luckily on this occasion, I was able, tracks were able to eat it. I don't. And I get 2 shells bouncing. And it's looking pretty nasty, but by which point Nimbus and Bidden are firing, getting completely firing. I'm bouncing so many shots on the frontal armor there. You can see where all the bounces are. Anyway, back into the fray. Trying to fight our way through. I try and go for a tracking shot on the Tiger 2. That is not successful. Move up again for another shot. Taking my time, marking the Tiger 2. He decides to go YOLO. Taking my time. He prioritizes another target. I go for another glacial, but he is destroyed. T-29 is there. He starts pointing his gun at me. I'm taking cover. My turret is keeping me alive at the moment. Take your time, take your time, take your time. Firing. He fires, bounces. I fire, I don't. T-25-2. I mark the target for Bidden, as well as Nimbus. I spot a shot. Bang. Take a non-penetrating hit there. And the T-25-2 is tracked. I take my time. Aim. Should sail. High roll of about 2 hit points. Centurion fires, does not hit. I see the target. Come on. He bounces. Not quite enough. T-29 unfortunately goes in. Artillery has a go at me now, realizing I'm the only one keeping the flank up at the moment. I fire a shot. He does penetrate my frontal turret. T-29 comes up again. I fire. This time I don't bounce. I'm taking cover. It's getting a bit tense. Centurion, but Nimbus or no, neither Nimbus or Bidden could have shots. I take a move up. Can I get a cheeky shot in? No. Damn it, frustrating starting to set in. At this point, I'm like, right, sod this. I'm loading premium. Bidden knocks out the T-29. I pop a shot which pens and does a high roll on the Centurion. We just need to knock that little bastard out. He fires, donks his shell. Don't want to get shot anymore. And the FV-304 has a go. And Scumbag tries yet another go at us, but is unsuccessful. God damn. What a carry. So both Nimbus and Bidden and I have just saved the game, but there is still a fair amount of enemy tanks to go, and they are really good players as well, or statistically, they are really good players. Respect at all times, though. That was a pretty hard carry as well. Enemy team getting a bit annoyed there. 112 making a good push against our Panther 2. STA moves in. I get a nice lucky shot into the STA, hitting him for nearly every damage. STA moving up towards Nimbus in his Ferdinand. I load back to standard shell. I am spotted. Panther 2 knocks him out, but the 112 takes advantage of this. A very, very good job in that as well. Artillery has another go at me. Bloody close not to say. I tell Bidden, as well as the rest of the players on our team, that's where the scumbag still is. I just, oh, son of a bitch. Just a momentary glance, potentially had a shot at the side of the 112, but not to any luck. Loading premium now, this is where the game is decided. So for all you guys out there who sort of complain about premium shells, these are the games where you need it, just because you don't want to die / lose. So a momentary moment of calm until then. The IS-6 fully healthed as well is spotted. So is Bidden spotted. He gets shot at. I get a lovely shot into the rear of the IS-6. Do I have enough to get a shot in? He has a go. Tracks Bidden, doing no damage. I'm worried about a scumbag. He can't fix his treads. I'm like, shit, Bidden, you're not going to get RT'd. He tries. Unfortunately, he misses. IS-6 now on, taking a little bit of health. Ferdinand of Nimbus is on his way. Bidden is in position. I try and have a little go at the 112. Taking my time. Aiming. Fire into the side, and Bidden finishes him off, getting a nice two-shot combo. IS-6 tries hitting through my rear. I'm getting paranoid now about artillery having a go. I'm looking to my left and my right. Premium shell going into his shot. Scumbag tries to go for it. IS-6 shoots, but misses. Oh no, he goes for someone else. I'm taking my time. I make a mistake and accidentally start reloading standard shells. Ah, crap. This could hurt. Ow, I'm on fire. God damn it.
We put out the flames.
Oh, this engine sucks. So, unfortunately, bit of a crazy move there. Did pay for it, but luckily I wasn't killed. And so Bidden now is just telling me, stay alive. Just stay alive. Doesn't matter what you do, stay alive. But I thought, no, sod that. I'll just track him, making it easier for your job. There's the scumbag. He gets shot. And he is promptly killed, so now it's just us versus the IS-6. The game is coming to a close. We all want to kind of live through this. Nimbus takes a shot, doing some damage. I'm telling Bidden to be careful. IS-6 can one-shot him. My slow engine's not helped by the lack of any treads. Nimbus throws a shot in, not doing, unfortunately missing. Bidden decides to YOLO. He tries going down for a ram kill, he fires and it donks. And Nimbus saves the day, ending the game on that one. Holy crap! That was a pretty hard carry by our platoon. Let's go have a look at the results of that game. So here are the results of that game. I was able to achieve, without getting any kills, a high caliber, steel wall, and a Confederate, getting a mastery badge first class, and a shell-proof badge as well. So not bad at all. Gained 144,000, thank you having premium tank, and gained 2,079. I don't think this was a ×2, but I think there was an event which gave you slightly more combat EXP. So thumbs up. Going to the team scores, I scored the most experience, or base experience, in that game, and achieved 4,421 damage, blocking 2,350, and spotting 1,038 damage. So that is a very good game, and a very fortunate game as well, thanks to the bouts of bounciness on that. Nimbus doing 2,989. Spotted for more than my damage of 1,792, and 30 with Nimbus. Yeah, sorry, Bidden. Yeah, for that Nimbus in this one, being 2,850 with 1,000 damage being blocked by armor. So good game to all three of us, and well played to our opponents. They definitely did an incredible push in the early game, but unfortunately, purely high concentrated fire and me acting as spotter for them was able to pretty much halt their advance right then. So yeah, good game to our opponents, and I will see you now back in the garage. So there you have it, 3 incredibly satisfying games in what I would call the gems in the rather terrible and ever-flowing sea of shitty matchmaking, shitty players, and overall bad experience that you receive in World of Tanks. But that said, take this also as a glimmer of hope to say that no matter how bad it is you've had in some matchmaking, there is always going to be a moment in which you will shine, and that you will be able to have a very good game whereupon you can make an enemy team look like complete fools. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching this. If you like this kind of content, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below, clicking on the like button, and of course subscribing to the channel. If you yourself are a YouTuber, a World of Tanks player, or a World of Tanks player who does YouTube, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below, and hopefully the next episode will be even better than the last. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.